Hey y'all, so I'm gonna pause the time lapse right here and say, first of all, I've already done one of these. Um, I'm just putting the ends together, like I'm putting half of it together, and then I'll put that both of those halves, I'll combine those halves outside. So I've already done both halves of one full bed. Okay, so let me say that first. And I don't know, I guess because I'm recording and I'm kind of thinking about that. I don't know. Excuses. What you just saw, or couldn't really see because I already had the camera angled to show you like me screwing things in, was me looking for one of these sides. So, and I can touch this part of my hand. It's like these ends are rounded. It's those ends that I have to kind of be careful with. And that piece is kind of sharp all the way around. But, so I came over, I looked over, and I was like, I never remember those end pieces looking shorter. I'm like, these are all the same length. And I'm like, was I tripping? Or were those shorter? And then I remember too, I was like, well, no, on the paper, it had them marked separately. So they had to be different sizes. Y'all, I just put the end piece on the side of that last one. So now I'm going to have to take it off. I got my measuring tape right here because I went over and measured them. Because I was like, what is going on here? But yeah, that's for sure what I did. So on the first one, I actually did the ends. I just put the corner on both of the end pieces, well, both the corners on both of the end pieces, and then came back and put the sides on them. So I did this one on a different order from that. And both, that makes sense now. I did this in a different order, and both of the end pieces were on the top. So I had already gone through this box. So the time is going to be a little off anyway, because I did already go through this box. So last night or night before, and checked everything out and kind of, unwrapped and all that stuff. But yeah. So the time is going to be a little off. I mentioned I did already do the first one. So you can say, well, that was part of your time because you messed up. Well, I did the first one without messing up. So anyway, I paused the time while I was trying to figure out what was happening. So I'll restart the time and swap that one out and do the other half of the bed. Oh my gosh. Oh, All right, so it's like 21.5 minutes to put those two halves together, or to build those two halves. That is, of course, with my little mix-up, which, as you saw, didn't really take long to fix. I just took the, the nut and the bolt out, and then put the other one on. But anyway, so, I don't know, maybe you can take a minute off for that. I don't know. So the only thing left, and I'll show this at some point, probably later today. Well, you'll see this all together. But later on today, I'll go outside and finish setting these up. Right now, it's raining, and it's still dark outside. I don't know what time it is, but it's still dark outside, and it's raining anyway. But I can show you this on the instructions. So I have to put those together. This is where they'll meet, and then I have those things right there that go across in the middle. So I'll do that. I'll do that, and then I have these little things that go down on the inside. So that's how I know which direction this needed to go. I'll show you this too. Okay, so on these pieces, on the short pieces, so I was gonna say on the long pieces, but on both pieces, there's this little lip. And then there's one on the bottom too. That one was thinner than this one, so I made this the top and the smaller one the bottom. They don't really specify, and I'm not sure that it matters much, but yeah, just FYI. So that's how I was turning the sides. And like I said, the corner pieces have to be turned where the pen can go in that little spot right there. So that's just to let you know how I determined how to turn those. And then, of course, this goes on the top to cover those sharp edges. Let's see. I think that's it, though. That's it. So we'll say 20.5 minutes to do that part. And then it won't take terribly long to finish putting it together. And I walk those over into the living room pretty easily, so it shouldn't be too much of a task, carrying them outside with it set up the way I went ahead and did it. But I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of a start on that because, again, it's raining. And I think by this afternoon, like late afternoon, it's supposed to be, it'll be in the 60s and the rain will be gone. So I'm planning on finishing this up today, later on today. But yeah, so we are showing 21.5 minutes. Oh, something else I wanted to say. These little gloves, they came with it. They came in, I think that bag right there was the bag the gloves were in. I showed you me kind of rubbing the corners, I think it was, early in the video, because I did use these earlier when I did the first bed, and they were fine, but I just wanted y'all to see, because when I saw them in there, I was like, I don't know if that's going to work or if I'm going to need to go get some gloves out of the garage, but they actually work fine. The ends, they could scratch you for sure, but they weren't so bad that these little gloves weren't enough. But, it's kind of a universal kind of situation. So they didn't fit my hands very well. So whenever I was, putting the nuts and bolts on, I had to take them off. Like they were too loose on the ends and it was in the way. But yeah. What else do I want to say right here? Oh, I think I want to go, I'm thinking about trying to find some locking nuts for these. I think I might do that. I'm just not confident in this holding together. Like, I'm not confident that these are going to stay in place just as they are. And I kind of wish they were a little shorter so there wasn't so much on it, so I can just kind of hammer it, you know, and just kind of lock it in myself. Which, you know, is probably not the best idea anyway, in case you ever decide to move these. You don't really want that. You don't want that smashed on the end. So I might try to go get some locking ones to put on there, so I don't have to worry about it unraveling or unscrewing, I guess. But, you know, that is to be seen. We'll see about it. I'm not going to start filling these immediately, so I have time to figure that out. And even when I do start filling them, I'm going to do it gradually over the next couple months. So I'll still have time to kind of decide if I want to do something like that. I'm also wondering, let's see if I can show you this. You see that? See that space? I'm thinking I have some fabric, let's say fabric cloth, landscape fabric in the garage from some old projects. And I'm thinking I might try to line these corners with that. Maybe. I'm not sure how much that would really help though. I don't know. I feel like I'm sure I could lose some soil out of that, but I'm not sure that it would be enough to really, you know what I'm saying, to really be an issue. Like, particularly while it's still fresh and it hasn't, I don't want to say compacted, but you know what I mean. When it's still really loose, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Because I really did think about just lining it, but again, with the way it has these ridges, I don't know that that's gonna actually, how helpful that would be, unless I did it like all the way around, or at least further down, because I was really just thinking like just a small piece right here, but I guess if I did it out to maybe that far on both sides, that would probably work actually. I just had to put it further. I just had to go further out than what I initially thought or initially planned. But yeah, so that's one concern. But I think I'm pretty good on that. And I will kind of push that into the corner here, because the corners do sit back. So when I put that on here, I will push it back in there, so it's not like it's sitting up to here and it's got the space back behind it. Okay, so I guess the rest of the video you see will be me setting these up outside. All right, that last step took 13 minutes and 23 seconds. So that included, so let's put that down. Well, not in the water. I brought this bag out here to sit this on. Okay. That included me bringing all the pieces outside, which I didn't show because I was going to do a little picture thing where it was like one piece, another piece. But then I got out here, and where I took that bed out and I dug all this out, with the rain we've been getting, it's full of water. So my original plan was to actually put it together in place. And once I got out here, I saw that was not going to work. So I didn't do that. I don't know that I have anything more to... Oh, actually, wait a minute. I forgot something. I forgot the little pieces. The little things. Got a little pocket down here. Oh, man. Okay, so I guess you can throw another minute on for that. I don't know that I want to do that right now, though, because I might shift this around just a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, it won't take much to just stick those in the ground. I mean, it's wet. It's soft. I'm not going to, like, hammer it in. But yeah, so I think that's it. I don't think there's anything more to add. Let me think. No, I think I said everything I needed to say after I finished that earlier video, or the earlier steps. But yeah, it's wet in here. That's crazy. I did not anticipate that, and I guess I should have. I didn't, and I think I didn't really fully remember that I had dug it down, like, on that side too. So I think in my head it was dug in on this side, because this is on a slope. So that's why I had to dig it in. The old beds that were here were dug in because this is on a slope. The same in the other garden space over there where I'm putting the other one. But I was thinking I dug down on this side, and then that side was just sitting flat. But apparently not. I didn't remember that. But yeah, so it's not deep. It's not real deep on this side, but it's deep enough to hold some water. And then this is the low end back here. So you see it's got water all. Yeah. See that? So that's why I keep the hibiscus back here. Anyway. Yep, I think that's going to be it. Like I said, I will put those pins in at some point. I don't know. Again, I might shift this a little bit, so that's why I'm not really concerned about doing it right now. But then again, maybe I will. I'm going to go ahead and put them in because they won't be hard to put in and they won't be hard to take out. And that way I don't have to keep up with them, because that would be the hard part. Yeah, I could easily lose these. So, okay. Well, that's it. I guess if you guys have any questions about these. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I thought about this before I came out earlier. I do have some rebar. I don't know if I was recording back, but I used to have two. Did I have two? No, I think I only had one. But I had a. How did I just do that? Anyway, yeah. I had I think it was 4x4 bed, and it was like, they were single boards. Well, it was a raised bed. They were single boards. I think they might have been like 6-inch boards or something, like the height. Well, I guess it's the width of the board. Anyway, I had this bed. I think I saw that online somewhere probably, where, I'm trying to see if I need to wipe that off. Where you just put the boards up and you use the rebar on either side of the board, just down the length of the board, to hold them in place. And it actually held together pretty well. But, you know, I've just kind of redone a lot of stuff out here, so I don't have those anymore. But anyway, I do still have that rebar, and I'll just randomly use it for different things. If you remember that pop-up greenhouse thing I had, or I haven't put it up this winter, and I don't know if I might put it up in the spring, like early spring, late winter, when I'm starting seeds, or when things are getting bigger. I might put it up then. But anyway, if you remember, when I set that up, the rope, I had rope that I had it tied off so it wouldn't blow away or anything, and I had that rope anchored with some of those pieces of rebar. So I kept them, and I just kind of use them for different things here and there. But I probably will, at least on this side of the beds, I'll probably put like maybe 3 down the length of the bed. I don't know if I may or may not put 1 on the sides, but see, like the top part, I can push that back up against where I have it dug down, so I don't really have to worry about that, bowing out on that side. But it's really this side and potentially the ends that I have to worry about. So I may go ahead and try to reinforce this a little bit with some rebar, just because I have it. If I didn't have it, I don't know that I would necessarily go out of my way to get it. I think I would still want something here. I don't know that I would necessarily use that. And I'm looking at this too, because I didn't necessarily dig this out even. I might have to do some other adjusting on this. But yeah, I probably will. And see, right now, with it being so wet, I could easily just kind of push it in, really. Probably. But yeah, so I will be doing that, though, at least on this side. And again, I may or may not do the ends. And now I think that really is it. I got these on Amazon. I should be able to find it pretty easily. I've had these for a few months now. I went ahead and ordered them because I've tried, especially in the winter time, when I'm kind of prepping for the next growing season, I try to get stuff gradually. Even like if I'm having to buy like compost or mixes and stuff, I try to do that stuff gradually so that it isn't so much of a just a really big purchase at once, or a few really big purchases. I try to spread that out. And so anyway, so I've had these for a few months. I got it in a 2-pack. I didn't buy 2 separately. I ordered, you go on Amazon, they have like 1 with this size, 2 with that size, whatever. So I got the 2-pack of this 6x3 by 1. It's 1 foot tall bed. And yeah, so I'll put the link to that below if you want to look at these. As you can very well see, I've not really used them, so I can't tell you like, oh, how they're gonna hold up or anything. Still concerned with this nut bolt situation and whether or not those are actually going to stay in place. But of course, well, if I put the rebar on the outside, especially if I go ahead and do it on the ends too, that will really help out with that anyway. So I don't know. Okay, I think that's it. So I went ahead and did this one first that I was showing y'all, and now I'm gonna go do the other one. And listen, when I say this one, y'all see how wet this one is? That one was worse. It's worse. And I'll put the combined time on here. I might drop it in earlier where I showed you the time for this one. Yeah, so that's what's happening, just getting things ready for spring, ready for summer. And I think I said earlier, I'll just kind of gradually fill this in. I'm not in any hurry to do that. And yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are having a good winter. And if you're doing any prep, I hope that's going well, going smoothly for you. I would say I hope you aren't getting, spaces kind of rained or drowned out, but it is what it is. Cycles. There'll be a point later this year where I wish I had this water. So I try not to complain about the winter rain too much. But yeah, hold on. Y'all want to see something? Because I don't remember if I told you. Did I show y'all this? Hold on. Here's my blackberry, y'all. I might have showed y'all that I had rooted a sucker, or I don't know what you call them. What you call it, a sucker? From my main plant that's right behind the house, that I have all set up. I decided that, last year I pruned it back really hard and I didn't get as much off of it because I did that like in the spring. And I've decided I'm going to keep that one pruned a good bit. And then I wanted to move one out further into the yard where I can let it kind of do its thing a little more. So since I took all this fencing down, I don't know if I showed y'all that either, but I did talk about potentially taking down the fencing. Well, I did. And I kept the post up on this side. And then in the other garden space on this inside side, I kept those posts up too. Because I think I might have said that I wanted to do grapes at some point. Still not really sure on that, but I kept those up too. But anyway, I'm gonna run some wire and stuff. Not wire and stuff. Run some wire along here and just let this blackberry grow on that. But yeah, just a little extra thing to show you since I was sitting here and I looked over at it. It's got all these leaves and whatnot on it because this weather has been so crazy. But I mean like green leaves. That's crazy. Because I mean it'll hold leaves for the most part, but they're, all dried out and stuff. They look like this on the other plant. Or the old leaves do. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it. Have a good day. Bye.